I haven't even thought. I've been so busy, I haven't even thought of a drink. But how about, I had a very nice daiquiri at the weekend. Is it too early for a cocktail?
Well, I think it almost certainly is. But it's not really a thirst quencher, is it?
Oh, it's delicious.
Oh, okay. Is it hula-licious as well? Okay. All right. So it's a daiquiri. Okay. Very good. Okay. So thank you very much for the confessions. And today's smart speaker goes to Mags. Thank you, Mags. Here we go with today's tale. Father Simon and the Collective. After listening to your confession segment on the show, my husband thinks it's about time that he looked for forgiveness. I think this is Mags writing on behalf of husband.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
His confession goes back a few years whilst holidaying in the Canary Islands. Firstly, I need to explain before I go any further that some years ago my husband had his big toe and the one next to it amputated on both feet due to arthritic problems. As you can imagine, his feet are rather odd looking, having only 3 toes to each foot. He is unable to wear flip-flops, for example. Okay, so that's the background information. A few days into our holiday, we decided to have a lazy day on the beach. We're both too tight to rent a sunbed, so we plonked ourselves on our towels next to an Irish family. Oh, no, really?
Oh,
that's
here
not.
Comes the
Yes,
accent.
here we go.
That's an accent thing, rather. Obviously. The children happily building sandcastles and frolicking in the sea. A proper, happy family day by the seaside.
Yeah.
We chatted. We talked about the books both families were reading and what our children were up to. These two families were getting on famously. Maybe we would hang out with them again. Maybe we'd exchange addresses and phone numbers at the end of the holiday. Maybe we'd be friends for life. Maybe our kids would end up going out with each other and marrying each other. But
Wow.
maybe we were getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, maybe you were.
And it turned out that's exactly what we were doing. I noticed the little girl, who looked maybe 4 to 5 years old, staring horrifyingly at my husband's feet. After some time, she wandered over
Oh, no.
and said in her little Irish accent,
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
"Where have all your toes gone?"
Whoa.
Come on, it was not horrendous.
So, from
Wait,
Public of
What did
Ireland?
she say?
before I could answer, she said, "Where have your toes gone?" Before I could answer her, my husband said, "I've just been for a paddle, and when I went in the sea, I had all my toes. However, I think the fish must have eaten them.
Oh, right.
They have got very hungry fish out there. It's the season, you know."
It is the season.
The look on the little girl's face was one of pure horror.
Surprise.
She then bolted to the sea edge and, in pure hysteria and therefore resorting to a London accent, said, Daddy, get out of the water quickly, it's dangerous. It's not safe, a man's been attacked, eaten half his feet." Well, it was like a scene from Jaws. Bedlam. Mr. Irish Daddy and others came running out of the sea in a blind panic, scooped up his sobbing daughter and asked her what was wrong. Well, you can now imagine the scene. Irish Daddy came striding over, holding his daughter, who was now crying so much she couldn't even talk, never mind look at my husband. To say Irish Daddy wasn't pleased is an understatement. I tried to explain that my husband has a sick sense of humour, and I apologise profusely for his behaviour, something I've done many times over the years. Mr. Irish Daddy muttered something which probably cannot be repeated on the radio and marched off, picked up his belongings, and the rest of his family probably left the beach. We didn't venture on the beach again for the rest of the holiday in case we bumped into Mr. Angrish Daddy, the Angrish Daddy, and the rest of his family. So, Father Simon, I'd like to seek forgiveness for my husband's behaviour, for not only ruining a happy family day out on the beach and maybe decades of future get-togethers, but I'm certain that this little girl would have been scarred for life and wouldn't have been surprised if she never ventured in the water again. To be honest, that's actually probably not far off the truth, because you would think that if you think going in the sea you can lose your toes, then you're going to think twice about it. Anyway, Sister Susie, what are you saying?
Oh, well, Mags, you know, it was very funny. However, what I want to know really is why you're apologising for your husband. He should have been doing that for himself. And I definitely forgive you, Mags. However, I don't forgive your husband, because that poor little girl would have been scared to death.
It's a good line, though, isn't it?
It's a great line.
If you can't scare the kids, what can you do? Brother Matthew.
I mean, well, yeah, A, it's a great line, and B, who's listening to a 2-year-old? Who's in the sea and listening to a 2-year-old and telling themselves,
Four to
better come out?
5-year-olds.
So 4 to 5.
4 to 5.
Yeah.
Well, 4 to 5-year-old. What? I mean, where's David Hasselhoff and the rest of the lifeguards? They're the ones who'll tell you whether to come in or not. Not some toddler stuck there. Oh, everyone's being attacked. Oh, why? Oh, the toddler's telling me. Oh, I'll definitely come out then. Definitely forgiven.
Okay.
I would.